Place garlic, pepper, and vinegar into a glass, and whatever is being sent your way gets broken. There are people who don't look you in the eyes, but they watch your life closely. They don't greet you, but they are rooting for you to fall. And strangely, after that person showed up, or after they walked away, where things started happening, something breaks in the house. Money comes in and slips right out. The space feels heavy. You wake up tired, as if someone is quietly pleased with your stumbles. And no, you don't need a black candle for someone to mess with your energy. Sometimes all it takes is envy, the evil eye, and you having no boundaries. Today you are going to close that door, because after this you will no longer allow anyone to play with your energy. I am going to teach you 3 rituals. The first one is so simple you would think, how did I never do this before? And in the last one, there is a detail almost everyone gets wrong, and that is why the problem comes back. Before we begin, write this in the comments. I am in charge here. All negative energy is closed. Read it quietly and then we begin. If you wrote that sentence, you have already done the first thing almost no one does. You took control. Now listen to me carefully. When someone's energy brushes up against yours, it does not need to show itself to cause damage. It shows up in the signs. And the sign is not just bad luck. It is the pattern. Money comes in and leaks out. The house feels heavy for no clear reason. Sleep does not restore you. A small disagreement turns into a big fight. One delay after another, like something is always pulling you backward. So many people try to fix it in the most exhausting way. They pray harder. They think positive. They light a candle. They do a cleansing. And for one day it feels better. But then it comes back. And do you know why? Because spiritual attacks, envy, and the evil eye are held up by 2 simple things. The first is the intention of the one sending it. People who smile at you but inside hope you fail. People who say your name with poison in their thoughts. People who do not have the courage to confront you, so they try to weaken you instead. And the second thing, the one almost no one wants to hear, is the open door inside you. This is not blame, this is awareness. An open door is when you absorb everything. An open door is when you over-explain yourself. An open door is when you take responsibility for everything. An open door is when you accept invasion and call it being polite. An open door is when you feel something and choose to ignore it. Today we are going to work on both sides. The intention out there and the door in here. And I am going to teach you 3 rituals. The first is the fastest cut. It is the basic one that already changes the atmosphere. The second closes the pathway where energy gets in. And the third is the seal. It is the closure that makes you feel deep inside, with me, it's over. But pay close attention, because here is the detail most people get wrong. And that is why the problem returns. It is not the ingredient. It is your boundary. If you do the ritual, but keep allowing certain access points, the energy will find another way in. So today, you're going to learn how to cut and how to close. And now we start with the simplest way, the way I like best, with a glass, water, and 3 things you probably already have at home. Do it with me slowly. You don't need blind belief. You need intention. You will need 4 simple things. A clear glass with water, 1 small clove of garlic, black pepper, ground or whole, just a pinch, and vinegar, only a few drops. That's it. Before you put anything into the glass, I want you to understand something. This first ritual is not meant to attack anyone. It is meant to cut what attached itself to you and return it to where it came from. To nothing, to emptiness, to what does not belong to you. So place the glass of water in front of you. Look at the water for a second and think, this water is my boundary. Here I am in control. Now take the garlic, break the clove into 3 small pieces, 3 pieces. Place them into the glass one by one, slowly. As you do this, say out loud with a steady voice. You do not need to shout, but you need to be firm. I cut all energy that entered my life without permission. I cut every jealous word, every heavy look, every hidden intention. I cut it now. Now take the black pepper. Just a small pinch. This is not to turn the water into soup. It is only to mark the intention. Place the pepper into the water and say, everything that tried to weaken me loses its power. Everything that tried to confuse me loses its direction. Everything that tried to bring me down breaks. Now comes the vinegar. Just a few drops. As the drops fall into the water, say the most important sentence of this first ritual. What enters my life without my consent, this cut destroys and returns to nothing. Repeat it once more with conviction. What enters my life without my consent, this cut destroys and returns to nothing. Now, without touching the glass, bring your hands close to it as if you are closing your energy field. Take 3 deep breaths. On the first breath, release exhaustion. On the second breath, release fear. On the third breath, release the feeling of being watched. After these 3 breaths, say, my words do not absorb poison. My mouth does not repeat curses. My breath is a cut. My voice is protection. Now pay attention. Many people do the ritual, but keep allowing the same access. The same conversation that drains them. The same person that weighs them down. The same habit of over-explaining themselves. So I want you to place a boundary right now with one simple sentence. With me, it's over. Take a breath and repeat it. With me, it's over. Done. This is the first cut. Now comes a part that people over 50 feel deeply in their body. What you do next with this glass. You are going to leave this glass in a place that represents your center. It can be on a table or in a quiet corner where no one will touch it. You will leave it there for a few hours while we continue. And here's the detail that creates curiosity and keeps many people watching until the end. You are going to observe the water. This is not empty superstition. This is symbolic reading. If the water looks heavier to your eyes, if it becomes cloudier, if the garlic moves up and down, that is a sign that you are moving something that was stuck. And if you feel a light sense of relief, even a small one, it means the first layer has already started to release. But I need to tell you the truth. This first ritual opens the portal. It is the enough. It is you saying, I am no longer a passive receiver. I am the guardian of my energy. And now comes a request that is not really a request. It is also a decree. If you want to keep learning this kind of protection, simple, direct and effective in everyday life, subscribe to Joshua Selman Wisdom. Because this action is you telling the universe, I choose to protect myself. I choose to grow stronger. Now with the glass set aside, we move to the part that separates those who live in fear from those who live in command. Because in the spiritual world, there are 2 types of people. And you will recognize yourself in one of them. In the spiritual world, there are 2 types of people. The first type is the one who, when something goes wrong, immediately thinks, that's it. Someone did something to me. And she stays there in suspicion, in complaint, in fear, looking for someone to blame, waiting for someone to come and save her. This person may have candles, she may have herbs, she may have salt, she may have prayers, but she is missing the most important thing, inner decision. Because without decision, any ritual becomes an empty repetition and the energy keeps entering through the same place. And then there is the second type of person. She is the one who one day gets tired. The one who says, maybe yes. Maybe people are giving me bad looks. Maybe there is envy. But here I am the one in charge. This second person does not need to know all the right words. She does not need a perfect altar. She does not need to prove anything to anyone. She only needs one thing. a boundary. And when a boundary is born, the energy changes. I want to tell you a simple story because it might be yours. A woman who spent her whole life taking care of everyone else. She worked. She supported the household. She raised children. She helped family. And she learned to swallow many things in silence. She did not like conflict. She preferred to let it go. She preferred to not make a big deal. She preferred to not respond. But her body started to pay the price. She woke up tired. The house felt heavy. Money never seemed to stretch. Things kept breaking. And worst of all, she felt there was someone nearby who smiled at her, but was not rooting for her. She tried praying more. She tried being more positive. She tried ignoring it. And for a while, it seemed to get better. But then it came back until one day, she did some things that seemed small, but changed everything. She stopped explaining herself. She stopped accepting visits that came and went, leaving heaviness behind. She stopped answering phone calls that always ended in guilt. She stopped sharing her plans with people who never celebrated her wins. And that same day, she said quietly but firmly, "With me, it's over." Notice the difference. It is not I want someone to stop. It is I stop allowing. And that is why garlic, pepper, and vinegar work so well as symbols. Garlic is not delicate. It enters, it penetrates, it cleans. Pepper is your character. Your this is as far as it goes. And vinegar is the cut that does not let anything stick. It sends a message. This does not attach to me. Now, I want you to pay attention to this sentence because it is the heart of this entire video. If you see yourself as a victim, energy treats you like a victim. If you see yourself as the owner of your field, the universe responds to your voice. There is a very dangerous myth. If someone messes with you, there is nothing you can do. This myth paralyzes people, and paralyzed people become easy targets. The truth is something else. What people try to send only stays if it finds space inside you. That is why in a moment I'm going to teach you the second ritual. This one is not just about cutting. It is about closing the path where energy enters. But before that, I need to ask you a question that is worth gold. When you feel something heavy, do you pull back or do you expose yourself? Do you protect yourself or do you explain yourself? Because your most powerful ritual is not the glass. It is your boundary. And now we are going to level up with firmness, without anger, but with command. If you are still here with me, it means you already understand this. This is not about attacking anyone. It is about becoming untouchable again inside your own energy. Now let's move to the second ritual. Now we truly level up. The first ritual cuts what attached itself to you. The second ritual closes the path where it gets in and makes the energy lose your address. And I want you to understand this clearly. This is not about revenge. It is about cutting off access. Many people think spiritual attack is something magical. But in real life, it works through repetition. Someone thinks about you with anger, envy, or bitterness and repeats that thought for days, weeks, months. And when they find someone who absorbs everything, it becomes a habit. Today you are going to break that habit. For this ritual, you will need 3 cloves of garlic, black pepper, whole or ground, vinegar in a small glass jar with a lid, a white plate, a sheet of paper, and a pen. Before we begin, I want you to do something simple. Place your hand over your chest and say with your firmest voice, "I reclaim my power. I gather my energy back and I close what was left open." Now let's set it up. Take the sheet of paper. In the center, write your full name 3 times, one line under the other. Below that, write this sentence exactly as it is without adding anything. All harm wished against me, all envy, all evil eye, and all energy sent my way is now cut, neutralized, and dissolved. When you finish, take one breath and fold the paper once, just to hold the intention. Now place the white plate on top of the paper as if the plate were sealing it. Here is an important detail that almost no one notices. You are turning your word into a physical boundary. You are not asking, you are declaring. Now take the 3 cloves of garlic, place them on the plate forming a triangle, one pointing toward you, the other 2 pointing outward to the sides. This triangle is symbolic. It says there is a path here, but there is no entry without permission. Now, with the pepper, create a ring around that triangle. It can be a line of ground pepper or whole peppercorns forming a circle. As you create this circle, say anything that tries to cross meets a barrier here. Anything that tries to touch me loses strength here. Now take the glass jar, pour vinegar into it until it is about halfway full. Before closing it, bring the jar to your chest with both arms. Close your eyes for a moment. Now remember, without panic and without suffering, just acknowledging all the times you felt attacked, diminished, provoked, or envied. The times you felt a heaviness that was not yours. The times you entered a space and left feeling worse than when you arrived. Not to suffer, but to reclaim your energy. Then say firmly, everything done behind my back is broken by this court. All envy loses power in my field. I reclaim my power and remove access from anyone who wishes me harm. Now comes a simple but powerful gesture. Without spilling anything, move the jar around the plate 3 times as if you were drawing an invisible circle around the garlic and the pepper. 1 circle and say, I close. 2 circles and say, I seal. 3 circles and say, I cut. Then place the jar in the center of the plate, right in the middle of the triangle. Now bring your hands above the plate without touching it and repeat 3 times. I reclaim my power. I reclaim my power. I reclaim my power. And now the final statement of this ritual. Nothing dark has permission to touch me. Nothing hidden has a path to me. With me, it's over. Take a breath. This is the moment when many people feel chills, tears, yawning, or the need to take a deep breath. Because when you close a path, your body knows it. And I want to ask you for something here. This is not just for engagement. It creates collective strength. If this is making sense to you, share this video with a woman you love. A woman who has been carrying too much weight. Sometimes she does not even realize she's absorbing other people's energy. And if you want, you can leave a short comment to seal it. I reclaim my power. Now, leave this setup in place for at least 1 hour. During this hour, you do not need to stare at it. You only need to respect the seal. After 1 hour, you will dispose of it with awareness and without fear. The vinegar in the jar can be poured down the sink with running water or into the soil far from your home. As you pour it out, say, just as this goes away, all energy that does not belong to me goes away as well. The garlic cloves and the pepper should be wrapped in paper and thrown away. No conversation, no drama, no looking back. The paper with your name on it should be torn into small pieces and discarded. Because here's the secret. You are not fighting anyone. You are breaking the bond. You are telling life, my field is no longer available. My name is not an open door. My home is not ground for poison. And pay close attention to this sentence because it changes the way your mind works. The universe does not respond to pour me. It responds to this is as far as it goes. Now we move to the part that many people ignore. And that is why the problem comes back. Because cutting is one thing. Changing the behavior that keeps reopening the door is another. And this is where your life truly begins to change. Now comes the part that almost no one wants to hear. Because it takes effort. And at the same time, it is the part that frees you the most. You have already cut. you have already closed the path. But if your life goes back to the same place, if the heaviness returns, if money starts leaking again, it is not because the ritual does not work. It is because of the most common mistake. The mistake is not the garlic. It is not the pepper. It is not the vinegar. The mistake is simple. You cut and then you open again. And how do you open it again? With small permissions. Permissions that look like being polite. Permissions that look like keeping the peace. Permissions that sound like I don't want trouble. But energy does not understand excuses. Energy understands boundaries. I am going to show you 3 invisible doors that when left open, allow envy to find its way back in. And I want you to be honest with yourself. The first door is the door of the mouth. When you talk too much about what you're going to do, when you share plans before they happen, when you explain your life to people who do not protect you, you are handing your energy field over on a silver platter. Some people do not need to attack you with anything spiritual. They only need to know where you are vulnerable so they can press the right spot. So from today on, you learn a sentence that closes the door of the mouth. I prefer silence. And do you know why this is powerful? Because silence is not weakness. Silence is armor. The second invisible door is the door of the guilty heart. When you feel guilty for saying no, guilty for stepping back, guilty for not answering, guilty for not explaining yourself, you become an easy place to enter, because guilt is a rope, and where there is a rope, someone pulls. So you need a simple but firm boundary. I do not owe access to anyone. Repeat it calmly. I do not owe access to anyone. The third invisible door is the door of the home. Many women feel it when someone walks in and the air shifts. They feel it when someone visits and the house feels heavier afterward. They feel it when someone sits down and the energy goes cold, but they ignore it out of politeness. So I ask you this, what matters more, your peace or someone else's opinion? Your home is a temple. It is not a stage. And there is a rule that protects your home without fighting with anyone. The people who visit you do not need to know everything. The people who visit you do not need to enter every room. The people who visit you do not need to touch your things. And if you feel that someone brings heaviness, you end the visit earlier with kindness, but with command. Because a boundary is not a shout. A boundary is a decision. Now I want to show you the deepest point of all this. Many people think they are under attack all the time, when in reality they are leaking energy all the time. And energy leakage looks like this. You spend the day thinking about what others think. You spend the day trying to please. You spend the day swallowing things. You spend the day explaining yourself. You spend the day carrying the weight of family, work, and the world. And when night comes, any heavy look can attach, because your field is tired. So before the third ritual, the ritual of the seal, I want to give you a micro closure you can do in 10 seconds that shifts your energy immediately. You will say very simply, I gather my energy back, I close my doors, I do not authorize. I gather my energy back, I close my doors, I do not authorize. Done. This may seem small, but this is exactly how a guardian lives, closing invisible doors all day long. And now I will tell you why the third ritual is the strongest. Because the third ritual is not just a cut. It is not just a closure. It is a seal. It is the moment when you make a complete declaration and stop being a target. Now pay close attention. In the third ritual, there is a detail that when done the right way, you feel in your body. You feel as if something leaves your chest, as if the air in your home opens up. That is why I want you to do this with me until the very end. Now, we move into the deepest ritual, the ritual of the seal. The ritual that delivers a clear message to the universe. With me, it's over. This ritual is not done every day. You do it when you feel the limit has been crossed. Repeated attacks, constant envy, unexplained heaviness, a sequence of blockages. Here you are not attacking anyone. You are cutting the bond and sealing your field. You will need a glass jar with a lid, 1 large clove of garlic, black pepper, coarse salt or regular salt if that is what you have, vinegar, a sheet of paper and a pen, and 1 small white candle. First on the paper, write your full name. Below it, write all evil eye, envy and energy sent against me is cut now. No harm has access to my home, my body or my path. Now fold the paper toward you 3 times as if you are calling your power back. Place the empty jar on top of the paper. Open the jar. Place the garlic, cut into 4 pieces. Add the pepper, add the salt. As you place each ingredient inside, say, here I trap what was attacking me. Here I dry out what wanted to see me fall. Here I cut what has no permission. Now pour the vinegar into the jar until it fully covers the ingredients. Close the lid. Hold the jar at the level of your chest. Take 3 deep breaths. Then say firmly, I remove this from my body. I remove this from my mind. I remove this from my home. From today on, it has no access to me. Place the jar on the table on top of the paper. Light the white candle next to it safely. Look at the flame for a few seconds and say, this light is my awareness. As long as this light exists, all harm loses strength. When it ends, access ends as well. Now comes the final declaration. And here you speak slowly with me. It's over. I close. I seal. I am in command. Let the candle burn all the way down. After that, you have 2 options. Whichever gives you more peace. You can discard the contents of the jar far from your home. Or you can pour it down the sink with running water, saying, just as this goes away, everything that is not mine goes away as well. Tear up the paper with your name and throw it away without looking back. As for the jar, you decide. You may keep it only for rituals or discard it if that feels right. Now, before we move on, I want a final seal of engagement that is also a decree. Write in the comments, I close my home. I reclaim my power. If you stayed with me until here, subscribe to Joshua Selman Wisdom, not for me, but because this is you saying, I choose to protect myself. That's it. Now there is only one last part. How to recognize the signs that it worked and how to keep your energy closed without living in fear. Now take a breath. Feel your body for a moment, because what you did here today is not theory. It is a shift in your inner position. You stepped out of the place of being a target and you returned to the place of command. And I want to help you recognize the signs that this has started to work. Because many people look for a big dramatic sign and they ignore the real signs, which are subtle but very real. One sign is in your body. The first sign is usually simple. You breathe deeper without noticing. You sleep a little better. You wake up with less weight on your chest. You may yawn, cry, or feel the urge to take a shower as if your body were releasing something. This is normal. 2 signs are in your home. The house opens up. The air feels lighter. The atmosphere feels less tense. Arguments decrease. The feeling of being watched fades away. And sometimes something very specific happens. You suddenly want to organize a corner. You want to open a window. You feel like cleaning a space. This is your energy reclaiming territory. 3 signs are in money and life paths. It is not that money falls from the sky, but you notice that the leaking slows down. Small things stop breaking for no reason. A delay gets unstuck. A response comes through. A charge disappears. A client comes back. A path that was blocked starts to move again. And most importantly, you start to feel capable again. Now pay close attention to what I am about to tell you, because this prevents relapse. If you did the rituals and later feel the heaviness trying to return, do not panic. This does not mean failure. It means you need to repeat the basics for a few days and close the invisible doors again. Do you know the biggest mistake? Feeling the weight and opening your heart to fear. Fear feeds the bond. So if you feel any sign of return, do the 10-second micro closure. I gather my energy back. I close my doors. I do not authorize. And if needed, repeat ritual 1. Because a guardian is not someone who never feels anything. A guardian is someone who feels it and protects herself immediately. Now I want to reinforce some things that is worth gold. Especially for women who have spent their lives carrying everything. You do not need to be harsh. You need to be firm. You do not need to fight. You need to choose. You do not need to prove anything. You need to close access. And that is why the final declaration is so powerful with me. It's over. If this video spoke to you, I want to leave one last seal in the comments. Write it exactly like this. My home is closed. My energy is safe. And if you know a woman who has been feeling tired, heavy, stuck in life, share this video with her. Sometimes she does not need more effort. She needs protection. Now so we can continue together. I'm leaving a loop into the next video. And I want you to come with me because this becomes a sequence of strengthening. In the next one, I will teach you a specific closing ritual to protect the place where energy enters your life the most, the front door of your home. And I will show you the mistake that blocks prosperity the most without anyone even realizing it. So, subscribe to Joshua Selman Wisdom and turn on notifications, because this is not just a click, it is a decree. I choose to live in peace. I choose to live protected. I choose to be in charge of my energy. And now take a deep breath. Look at yourself with respect, because today you did not ask for permission. Today you took command. With me, it's over. Now let's talk about what happens after the seal. Because peace is not a one-time event. It is a practice. You might wake up tomorrow and for a moment forget the new boundary. An old habit might whisper, just answer that call. Just explain one more time. Just ignore that feeling. This is when your true work begins. Not with more ingredients, but with a quiet, unshakable decision in your spirit. You will learn to recognize the old energy trying to knock, like a familiar but unwelcome guest. And instead of opening the door, you will simply turn the lock. You will hear it, acknowledge it, and choose differently. This is how you build a new life. Brick by brick, no by no. Moment of silence by moment of silence. I want you to understand something beautiful and powerful. When you consistently guard your energy, something within you begins to bloom. It is not just the absence of heaviness. It is the presence of a gentle, steady light. You will start to notice small synchronicities. A helpful stranger appears. An idea comes clearly. A sense of calm settles in your chest where there used to be a knot. This is your own spirit, no longer crowded out, speaking to you again. It is your intuition returning stronger and clearer because you have cleared the static. You are listening to your own frequency. But there will be tests. Life will send people and situations to see if you really mean it. Someone might suddenly become overly kind, trying to weave their way back in. A family member might guilt you with a heavy sigh. An old pattern at work might try to resurface. See these not as failures, but as exams. And your answer is always the same, spoken not necessarily with your voice, but with your energy. My peace is not negotiable. My space is sacred. With me, it's over. You do not need to be loud or dramatic. In fact, the strongest boundaries are often silent. They are felt. They are in the way you no longer lean into gossip, in the way you gracefully end a conversation that turns toxic, in the way you protect your time as if it is the most precious currency you own, because it is. Now let's speak about protection in your daily movements. The world is full of energy, and not all of it is yours to carry. So here is a simple practice for when you step outside your home, before you walk into a crowded place, or even before you log into a meeting. Place your hand on your heart, take one deep breath, and imagine a sphere of clean, clear light forming around your entire body. See it as a brilliant egg of protection, humming with your own personal frequency. Say to yourself, I move in my light. Only what belongs to me may enter. Everything else finds no door, no window, no crack. This takes 7 seconds. It grounds you in your authority before you even take a step. And for your home, your ultimate sanctuary. After you have done the seal, make this a regular practice. Once a week, take a moment to walk through your space. Not to clean physically, but to cleanse energetically. You can simply clap your hands firmly in each corner of a room. The sound vibrates and shakes loose stagnant energy. You can light a simple piece of sage or rosemary and let the smoke waft into the corners, saying, only peace resides here. Only love may enter. Or you can do what my grandmother did. Sprinkle a little salt water at your front and back doors every Sunday, whispering a blessing of protection over all who enter with pure hearts. This is not about fear. It is about stewardship. You are tending to the atmosphere of your life. Remember, the goal is not to live in a fortress, paranoid and closed off. The goal is to live in a garden. A garden has a fence. That fence is your boundary. It keeps out what would destroy your blooms. But inside that fence, you are free to grow, to blossom, to be soft, to be vibrant, to be open to the sun and the rain. Your boundaries are what make your openness safe. They are what allow your kindness to remain strong and not be worn down into exhaustion. There will be days you feel tired. There will be moments you sleep. This is human. Do not use it as proof that it doesn't work. Use it as a reminder to return to the basics. Go back to the glass of water. Repeat the micro closure. Reclaim your power. This is a lifelong practice of coming home to yourself. And finally, let's talk about the most profound protection of all, the story you tell yourself. Stop telling the story of the victim. Stop repeating, why does this always happen to me? Even in your private thoughts, begin to narrate your life as the guardian, the wise one, the woman who commands her space. Say to yourself, I am safe in my energy. My home is a haven. My path is clear. I attract respect and repel nonsense. Your inner dialogue is the most potent ritual of all. It sets the tone for everything you experience. So from this day forward, let your life be different. Not because the world changed overnight, but because you did. You have the tools, you have the awareness, you have the permission to put yourself first in the most sacred way. This is your birthright, to live light, to live protected, to live powerful. I am so grateful you are here on this journey with Joshua Selman Wisdom. This is just the beginning. In our next time together, we will go even deeper, building upon this foundation of strength. We will talk about calling your energy back from people and places where it's been left scattered, and how to fortify your joy so it becomes unshakable. But for now, sit with this, integrate it, live it. Take one last deep breath with me. Feel the solid ground beneath you. Feel the space you have created within and around you. It is yours. It is real. It is protected. You are the guardian. You are the command. You are the peace. With you, it is only just beginning. Now let's breathe into the quiet space we've created together. There is a stillness after a storm. A clarity that comes not from the absence of challenge, but from knowing you have the tools to meet it. This is where your new life truly takes root. Not in the dramatic moments, but in the gentle everyday choices that follow. It's in the morning when you first open your eyes and instead of reaching for worry, you place a hand on your heart and whisper, today I belong to myself. It's in the afternoon when you feel the old pull to people please and you gently choose your own peace instead. It's in the evening when you review your day not with criticism, but with the kind eyes of a guardian who protected her own spirit. I want to talk about a feeling you might know well. The hollow ache after you've given too much of yourself away. It feels like a quiet emptiness, a loneliness that has nothing to do with being alone. That ache is your spirit's signal, a gentle alarm telling you that your energy has been siphoned, that you are running on fumes. The rituals we've done are like a deep drink of water for a parched soul. They begin to refill that hollow space, but the ongoing practice, the daily discipline, is what keeps it filled. It's learning to drink from your own well before you offer a cup to anyone else. So, how do you live this? Start with the small things. The phone rings. You look at the name and feel that familiar twist in your stomach, that weight. You now have a choice. The old you would answer with a tense smile, already bracing. The new you let it go to voicemail. You breathe. You create space between the demand and your response. That space is where your power lives. In that space you can decide, does this deserve my energy? Is this an invitation or an invasion? You are no longer a puppet reacting to every string pulled. You are the one holding your own strings. This extends to your thoughts. You will find that old heavy thoughts try to return. Memories of slights, worries about what someone said, anxieties about invisible judgments. When they come, do not fight them. Do not wrestle with them. Simply see them for what they are. Stray energy, echoes of the past, looking for a home. And then, with the compassion of a mother ushering a child out of the rain, you say, not here. You cannot live here anymore. You redirect your mind to something that nourishes you, a beautiful memory, a plan that excites you, the simple feeling of your breath. This is spiritual hygiene. It is cleaning your inner home as diligently as you clean your outer one. And what about the people who notice the change? Some will be confused. Some may even become angry. They were comfortable with the old version of you, the one who was always available, who absorbed their moods, who asked for so little. Their reaction is not a sign you are doing something wrong. It is a sign you are doing something right. You are resetting the rules of engagement for your life. Stand firm in the gentle, unshakable truth. You are not responsible for managing their discomfort with your peace. You can wish them well from a distance of your own choosing. Not with bitterness, but with the serene understanding that your well-being is the foundation from which all true goodness in your life flows. Let's also speak of forgiveness, not for them, but for you. Holding on to resentment is like drinking poison and hoping the other person feels it. It is an energy leak of the highest order. So, in your own time, perform this simple release. Write the name of a person or a situation on a piece of paper. Hold it in your hands and say, for my peace, I release the hook you have in my heart. I take my energy back. I set us both free. Then safely burn the paper and let the ashes scatter. This isn't about saying what happened was okay. It is about declaring that it no longer has a right to live rent-free in your soul. You are evicting the past to make room for your future. Now, imagine your life 6 months from now. Imagine waking up and your first feeling is a soft contentment, not a dread. Imagine moving through your day with a quiet assurance because you know you can handle what comes. Imagine your home humming with a palpable sense of safety and warmth, where friends who truly love you feel uplifted just by being there. This is not a fantasy. This is the direct result of the daily decisions you are making now. The universe responds to consistent vibration. Your steady commitment to peace becomes a magnet for peaceful experiences. You are not just breaking a cycle, you are building a legacy. You are teaching everyone around you, especially the young ones watching, what it means to respect oneself. You are modeling that strength is not hardness, and that kindness is not weakness. You are showing that the most powerful person in the room is often the one who is so at peace, she has nothing to prove. Our journey on Joshua Selman wisdom continues. There is so much more to explore. How to shield your dreams as they are budding. How to use the moon cycles to release and renew. How to build an altar of simple things that remind you of your power every single day. But for now, let this settle. Let it become your new normal. Close your eyes for just a moment. Feel the rhythm of your own heartbeat. That is your drum, your personal rhythm. No one else can match to it. It is yours alone. Your entire life's purpose is to walk in time with that authentic beat. All the rituals, all the boundaries, all the quiet no's and the powerful yeses are just ways of clearing the noise so you can hear your own sacred rhythm again and follow it without fear. You are not just safe, you are sovereign. Carry that truth with you. Let it be the light you walk in. And remember, I am here with you every step of the way. Let's sit in this truth for a moment longer. Let it sink past your thoughts and into your bones. Because this work is alchemy. It is the slow, sacred process of turning leading fatigue into golden awareness. You are not just removing what was wrong. You are remembering what is eternally right within you. There is a version of you that existed before the world told you to carry its weight. A version that knew her own song and sang it freely without checking to see who was listening. That version is not lost. She has been waiting quietly beneath the layers of duty and adaptation. Every time you choose your peace, you are whispering to her, I remember you. I am coming home. And home is not just a place. It is a frequency. It's the resonant hum you feel when you are aligned. When your actions match your inner truth, you will begin to recognize this feeling more and more. It's the deep sigh after you hang up the phone without apologizing for a truth you told. It's the lightness in your step when you walk away from a conversation that no longer serves you. It's the quiet joy of spending an evening with yourself, feeling whole and complete, not lonely. This frequency becomes your new compass. When a decision feels heavy, confusing, or forces you to shrink, it is off key. When it feels light, clear, and expands your spirit, it is in tune. Trust this. It is your most ancient and reliable guide. Now we must speak of a subtle thief. The habit of urgency. The world will constantly whisper that everything is an emergency, that every demand requires your immediate attention, that if you don't respond right now, something will collapse. This is a lie designed to keep you in reaction mode, where your energy is easiest to steal. So, you must cultivate a new habit. Sacred pause. When the phone pings, pause. When a request is made, pause. When emotion rises, pause. In that pause, you reclaim your sovereignty. You step out of the current and onto the riverbank, where you can see clearly. From there you can ask, Does this truly require my life force? Is this my emergency? Or is it someone else's chaos they are asking me to manage? Your time, your attention, your spirit. These are the most sacred currencies you possess. Spend them with intention, not from a place of frantic lack. There will be moments of doubt. You might look at your simple glass of water, your jar of herbs, and wonder, is this enough? Can these ordinary things really hold such power? Yes. 1,000 times, yes. Because the power was never in the garlic or the pepper. The power is in your conscious intention marrying a physical action. It is you declaring to the unseen world, I participate in my own protection. The ingredients are just anchors for your will. When a sailor throws an anchor, it is not the iron that holds the ship fast. It is the connection to the solid ground beneath the waves. Your intention is that anchor. The ritual is the strong chain. Together, they hold you steady in any storm. Let's expand this protection to your dreams, the tender seeds of your future. When you have a dream, a new business, a creative project, a journey of the heart, it is most vulnerable when it is just a whisper in your soul. That is the time for fierce, quiet guardianship. This is where we often go wrong. We share the seed with the first person who smiles at us, only to have it stepped on by careless words or the frost of envy. So, learn to incubate your dreams. Wrap them in silence. Nourish them with your faith alone. Speak of them only to those who have proven they hold a safe space for your soul. Or speak them only to the moon, to your journal, to the flame of a candle. Protect their vibration as they root. Once they are strong with leaves and buds visible to the world, they can withstand more. But in the beginning, be their secret keeper, their sacred greenhouse. This practice of guarding is an act of deepest self-love. And from this love, a miraculous thing happens. Your compassion deepens, but it changes form. Before, your compassion may have been messy, entangled with pity and a need to fix. It drained you. Now your compassion becomes clear, like a clean window. You can see another's pain without mistaking it for your own. You can offer a prayer without taking on their burden. You can send light without following them into the dark. This is true strength. This is how you help without harming yourself. You become a lighthouse, standing firm in your own light, guiding others not by chasing their ship, but by being a steady, unwavering beacon they can steer toward. So, how do you walk through the world now? You walk as if you are wrapped in a cloak of your own approval. You move as if your very presence sanctifies the ground you walk on. This is not arrogance. It is the humble recognition that you are a vessel of a unique divine spark, and your primary duty is to keep that flame burning clear and bright. When you do this, you give everyone around you permission to do the same. Your peace becomes a quiet revolution. Remember, the path of the guardian is a daily walk. Some days you will feel the cloak of protection around you, thick and comforting. Other days you might feel a draft and need to draw it tighter. This is the practice. It is the gentle, persistent return to your own center again and again. I am so honored to walk this path with you here on Joshua Selman Wisdom. There are more layers to uncover, more depths to explore. How the seasons affect your energy, how to walk with the wisdom of your own dreams at night, how to create a personal mantra that rewires your spirit for unwavering confidence. But for now, let this integration be enough. Take my hand in this unseen space. Feel the solidarity of this choice. You are part of a quiet army of women and men who are choosing to come home to themselves. You are never alone in this. Now, as we prepare to step back into the flow of the day, carry this final knowing: the door you are closing is not a door of lack, but a door of discernment. And the space you are creating is not an empty room, but a sacred temple, ready and waiting to be filled with the music of your own unburdened soul. Breathe, anchor, and proceed. You are protected. You are powerful. You are forever coming home to yourself.